So there's a lot going on in the world right now, and it can feel very overwhelming, especially if you're sensitive. And something that I've been really balancing in my own life is how much to feel into and empathize with everything that's happening, and not just now, but honestly, all the time. This is not new at all. It just feels like it's, another moment to explore what the balance is between tuning into the collective and having empathy and feeling the feels of humanity, of what it means to be human, as well as not getting trapped in that and starting to feel helpless, starting to feel powerless, um, and, you know, allowing the emotion and not necessarily always getting lost in it. And if you do get lost in it, that's fine. Just can you have an anchor? Can you have something that tethers you back out of that whirlpool of emotion? So, and the reason why we want to do that is because we want to be empowered enough that we can make the shifts that are in our control. So much of what happens in the world, especially when there's, these big events, is that we feel so helpless because we don't feel like we can do anything. And the truth is, we always can, perhaps just not in the ways that we think or feel really big. So we want to always remember that there's always something that we can do. There's always something in our control. Just figuring out how can we be grounded enough to tune into what that is. So we're going to do some tapping today to release and reprogram. That's what I'm thinking of it as, is releasing this overwhelm, releasing this powerlessness and this feeling of helplessness, and reprogramming ourselves to have that balance of feeling the feels, feeling the humanity, as well as being empowered enough to take action in a way that does contribute to your personal well-being as well as the collective well-being. So go ahead now and close your eyes if that is available for you, and tune into the body. And when you think about just life right now, and you can think about world events, you can think about maybe personal things that are happening in your life that might be feeling overwhelming, or it might feel like completely out of control. Go ahead and tune into your body, and just notice where you might be feeling it. Do you feel sensation in your chest? Do you feel it in your stomach? Do you feel it in your shoulders? And go ahead and rate that sensation on a scale of 0 to 10, with 0 being I don't feel anything, 10 being this is very overwhelming, this is very intense. And also just notice what emotion might be there, besides the experience of overwhelm and whatever else might be there for you. What is there? Another emotion? Is there sadness? Is there grief? Is there anger? And again, just notice where you might be feeling it in the body. And when you're ready, you can start tapping on the side of the hand, and you can repeat after me either out loud or in your mind. And if what I'm saying, as always, does not resonate with you, please use your own words. Use your own words. It's okay. Tapping works best when it is intuitive and it is resonant for you. So go ahead and start tapping on the side of the hand, and go ahead and repeat after me. Again, either out loud or in your mind. Even though I'm feeling all of this overwhelm with everything happening in the world and in my life, I acknowledge my experience and all of the emotions that I feel. And I'm open to releasing some of this today. And continue tapping on the side of the hand, even though I might be feeling a lot of overwhelm around what's happening in the world and what's happening in my own life. And sometimes I feel powerless and out of control. I choose to acknowledge my experience and give it a voice, and I accept myself exactly as I am. And last time, tapping on the side of the hand, even though I'm experiencing a lot of overwhelm, and maybe I'm even stuck in a fight or flight or freeze response, my nervous system might feel shot. And I take a deep breath. I acknowledge my experience exactly as it is. And I'm willing to think and feel differently about my situation, and maybe even about the world today. Go ahead and start tapping on that eyebrow point. All this overwhelm. Moving to the side of the eye, I feel so overwhelmed. Underneath the eye, these things happen in the world. Moving underneath the nose, that can feel so overwhelming. Chin, and they bring up a lot of emotion for me. Collarbone, I might be feeling anger. Moving underneath the arm, I might be feeling sadness. Top of head, or I might be feeling grief. Eyebrow point, or maybe I'm feeling some combination of all of it. Side of eye, and I can often feel helpless. Underneath the eye, overwhelmed by everything that's happening. Underneath the nose, overwhelmed by my own emotions. Chin, and it makes me feel like there's nothing that I can do. Collarbone, because even though I want to help. Underneath the arm, even though I want to contribute in some way. Top of head, it feels impossible. Eyebrow point, what can I really do? Side of eye, what difference can I really make? Moving underneath the eye, it just feels so overwhelming. Underneath the nose, there's so much pain and sadness that's happening in the world. Chin, and maybe even in my own life. Collarbone, I see these things happening on TV, on social media. Underneath the arm, and my nervous system just gets completely shot. Top of head, and I don't know what to do. Eyebrow point, and just tune into the body now and just notice what's happening in the body. Notice if you're feeling any emotion, any sensation, and just take a deep breath here. And release. Moving to the side of the eye, repeat after me. I'm giving a voice to this overwhelm. Underneath the eye, I'm giving a voice to maybe even some numbness I might be feeling. Underneath the nose, sometimes it feels easier to disconnect from all of it. Chin, because it just feels so overwhelming. Collarbone, and whatever my experience is. Underneath the arm, I'm bringing compassion to it. Top of head, because it's really hard being human right now. Eyebrow point, and I don't have to have all the answers. Side of eye, I don't have to have this all figured out. Underneath the eye, and whatever emotional experience I'm having, I choose to feel okay. Underneath the nose, I choose to continue tapping and releasing any anxiety, any overwhelm. Chin, and I choose to focus on what is in my control. Collarbone, because maybe I can't save everyone, and maybe I can't make the biggest difference out in the world, or the difference I think I can make. Underneath arm, but there is always something that I can do. Top of head, and with all the violence and the pain and the anger and the sadness that's happening out in the world. Eyebrow point, I can take a moment to see where those same things might be happening in my own life. I can see where there might be conflict in my own heart. I can see where maybe there's emotions that are impacting me or other people, relationships. Underneath nose. And maybe I can start to clear those for myself. Chin. Maybe if I take care of the things in my life that are difficult, that are challenging, collarbone, and I start to bring more love and resolution to those things. Underneath arm. Maybe that actually does make a difference. Top of head. Maybe that can impact others to do the same. Eyebrow point. And it doesn't mean that I can't feel sad or process emotion about what's happening out in the world. Side of eye. But I don't have to get lost in it. Underneath eye. I don't have to remain stuck there. Moving underneath the nose. I can acknowledge the pain and suffering that's happening out in the world. Chin. I can also release it. Collarbone. And it doesn't mean that I don't care. Underneath arm. It just means that I'm giving myself enough space. Top of head. To take care of myself. Eyebrow. So that I can actually do things that will make a difference. Side of eye. And we need that more than ever. Underneath the eye. So I'm choosing to release this overwhelm. Underneath nose, I'm choosing to settle my nervous system. Chin, I'm processing anything that I need to process. Collarbone, and I choose to focus on what I can control. Underneath the arm, while sending love and healing to not just myself, top of head, but to everyone around me and maybe even the world. So go ahead and stop tapping. Take a deep breath in and release. And just notice how your body might be feeling. Notice if that original number went up, if it went down, if it stayed the same. And if you need to do this tapping again, continue doing it. If more came up for you, keep tapping through it. The point is to release it and to reprogram yourself into a new mindset. So we're not gaslighting, we're not stepping over our experience or the experience of others. We're acknowledging it, we're releasing it, and we're choosing a more empowering way, a more authentic way of being that helps us and it helps others. So I hope that was helpful, and sending everyone much love and much healing.